Please be advised that Little Miss Recap contains adult language. She's in her wedding dress, and he comes bursting into the room, kind of like a Chris Farley out of Saturday Night Live situation.
Yes.
He comes bursting into the room, and his hair is all aflutter. And I'm like, is that Nick Nolte? Hi everyone, welcome to Little Miss Recap, the podcast where we talk shit about people, make everything about us, and then don't show up at their reunion.
Oh, good gravy.
Oh, Uche.
The fact that we got no Uche made me real sad. I mean,
Did it though? Did it?
From a drama perspective, it made me sad. From a never wanting to see that man's face again, it made me happy.
Yes.
That said, we did get times of when this was filmed. This was filmed pretty recently.
This was filmed pretty recently because it's been a year.
A year and a half.
Lydia and Milton were married for like 2 years and couldn't tell anybody. Jesus Christ.
When the first season of Love is Blind happened, it came out like 2 years afterwards. Cameron and Lauren and Barnett and Amber couldn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Oh, Lauren and Cameron.
I know.
When I was finished with this reunion, my name is Amye Archer. I'm your host of Little Miss Recap, and I'm here with my co-host, the gravy to my french fries, Amanda Lipnack-Radel.
I love french fries and gravy. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, friends.
Who doesn't?
There's nothing better than when you've had a couple too many and you're at a diner at 2 a.m.
Yes.
It's french fries with gravy.
And you're getting pancakes and french fries with gravy.
I mean, I might not do that, but I can see where that would be great. I also really enjoy McDonald's french fries dipped in vanilla milkshake.
Oh, okay. I like McDonald's french fries anyway.
Oh, sure. They're the best. They're the best fast food french fries.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are here today to talk Love is Blind, Season 5, Episode 10, The Weddings.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk about the reunion. I want to talk up front, though, about something that's been going on at Little Miss Recap.
Okay, please.
We have a situation on Patreon that I would like to address.
You're making it sound much more nefarious than it actually is.
It's not nefarious. It's just dumb. And when tech companies present a flawed user experience, it's just something that gets in my craw.
Mm-hmm. As someone who works in software, it really pisses me off too.
Yeah. So Patreon has changed a bunch of stuff, guys, and they've rolled out this free feature. So it used to be that you could follow a show, like sign up as a follower, but now there's this big button when you go to our site that says join for free, and you're welcome to join for free, but guess what? You're not getting anything.
When you post something, is there an option to say post this to free?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't do that.
Right, because that's the point of Patreon is not free.
Right. Our free stuff is all on all of our regular feeds.
Right.
Yes.
Anywhere. Yeah, I don't get it.
Like nobody is like, I want Patreon to be my podcast player, so I'm just going to listen to free stuff there. No.
Nobody wants their podcast player to be Patreon.
No, and we're only talking Patreon, guys. We're not talking Apple Podcast subscriptions or Supercast. I almost said Supertramp. Wow.
Or Supertramp. I mean,
So if you have signed up, and this is another great thing. So we've gotten like 10 or 12 people who signed up for free. I can't message them. You're not allowed to message free people, only if they're paid subscribers. Great. So I have no way of contacting these people. They're just going to get angry and leave, and I don't blame them. So if you go to Little Miss Recap and you click on Become a Patron, make sure you pick a paid tier, because then you'll get something.
Then you'll get stuff. Without it, you don't get stuff.
And what you're getting now is Sister Wives. So I've stopped putting it on the free feed. It's on Patreon. So you're getting Sister Wives, and we're in the process of deciding what is also going to go there. So no decisions have been made yet.
Yes.
But I will say Stephanie and I are covering Married at First Sight.
Yay.
I'm super excited. We got the screeners. It took me 5 years to get screeners. Finally got them. So we are going to be able to drop our episodes at a reasonable time. So they will drop on Thursday mornings. And the first one or two will definitely be on the free feed. We don't know if we're putting on Patreon or Extra or Supercast or Apple subscriptions yet, decisions have to be made. But for
Decisions have to
right
be made.
now, it will be free this week, and you'll
What
be hearing
season
it
is this
a
city
couple times.
taking place in?
Denver.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
enjoy Denver.
Yeah. It's so weird because they have not promoted this season at all,
Mm-mm.
which is
Mm-mm.
super weird. I feel like they were dragging their feet even putting it out.
Maybe, I don't know. I I watched, like, the 1st season of Married at First Sight a million years ago. Excuse
Yeah.
me. I've not watched since. I did wanna watch the Philadelphia season just because I like watching things in Philadelphia.
I love it, and, I watched every season. I love it so much. It's my jam. It's my jam. Love it.
All I know is that there's terrible therapists and people make really bad choices.
The therapists aren't it's not that they're terrible, they just don't show up,
Oh,
ever.
oh,
Like, the first maybe 10 seasons, they were really involved,
okay.
and it was kind of a this is what I was saying about Last Resort.
Right,
Like, Last Resort cannot make this mistake, because one of the things about, Married at First Sight that I loved was the therapy sessions.
right, yeah, I mean, you and I are always gonna love
Yes,
the
and
therapy.
now, like, they just leave these couples to figure it out on their own. It's like they're not gonna figure it out.
No, you just married a stranger.
Right. So, whatever.
I think you need support through that,
Yeah.
I would guess.
So, that being said, oh, hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Leo's made Leo's made his presence known. There you go, buddy.
So, that being said, let's jump into Love is Blind.
Love is Blind, yet another relationship experiment that may or may not have worked well.
Yeah. The I will say the Lachey's were better.
Thank God Vanessa wasn't at least trying to impregnate everybody
You
who
know she
got
wanted
within
to
a
ask it. You know it.
10-mile radius.
Mhm. Mhm.
Jesus
You
Christ.
know she wanted to ask it.
It's gonna be interesting to see how well, if Lydia and Milton last the distance. I don't think they will, but if they do, um, how long it'll take them to have babies, because he's still a baby, but
Yeah.
she's in her early 30s now.
Yeah.
So, those timelines are gonna be interesting because her timeline is gonna tick click
Be a
way
little
faster
different.
than his.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. So,
If they want
let's
children, I don't even know if they do.
let's talk about the wedding episode.
Okay.
There's not much to talk about.
There isn't much to talk about. I will say that I did clock Stacy wore the same dress. I could not tell if Lydia had the same dress on or not.
It looked like she
It
may
looks
have, and they
similar.
added sleeves because remember she wanted the
Yeah, she
sleeves?
wanted the droopy sleeve
Mhm.
thing, whatever we called
Mhm.
those, the pieces of fabric. I I will say I thought Stacy might have been the most beautiful Love is Blind bride.
Okay. Stacy looks 12 without her makeup on.
Oh, she really does.
She looks
She really
11 or
looks young.
12.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Whoever
looks so different.
whoever did her makeup for both episodes,
Mhm.
keep that person. Get thee to that person constantly.
And have that person give you lessons, because what that person knows that you don't is you do not need 17 pounds of bronzer on your face at all moments.
And you do not need jet black eyebrows.
No. No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Her eyebrows need something because 'cause they're real light
Mhm. Mhm.
without any makeup on,
Mhm.
but
But the person who did her makeup found just the right.
mhm,
Yes, I thought
just the
so.
right thing. I mean, I
Mhm.
think she's gorgeous.
I do too.
I thought she looked stunning at the wedding. I thought Izzy's tux looked ridiculous.
Oh, see, I thought he looked good. He was wearing navy, right?
It was navy and black. I don't know. I felt like
Okay.
he was trying to do, like, a hip prom look or something.
Yeah, well, his
He's
best days were in high school,
his
so
best days were in high school.
he's Uncle Rico in it.
I continue to love his mom so, so
Okay,
much.
his mom. All right, so if you didn't watch and you listen to this, which I don't know why you would do that,
Right.
they went to the altar. Izzy said yes. Stacy
Stacy
said
said no.
no, but
And then they made out.
she wanted to stay with him. He
Yeah.
was like, "I understand." They made out. They said they loved each other, and then it started to sink into Izzy.
And then it sunk in, or some producer said, "You need to be pissed." And then he got real pissed.
I think it sunk in. I think he
I
was
think
in
it sunk in
shock
too.
at the
Yeah.
moment, and then as he started to think about it, he was like, "Wait a minute here."
Wait a minute. Oh
Yeah,
god, she said no. She
yeah,
said no.
yeah.
And honestly, I thought what she said made sense. This is too fast for the 2 of them. They weren't ready.
Well, she kept harping on, "You weren't honest with me," like, she said that a few times,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
and I think she's thinking, "What other surprises are there?"
Well, I read in, yet another auspicious journalistic source, People, that, she had asked him what his job was. He couldn't really say what his job was. He couldn't really say how much money he made. He
Mhm.
couldn't really say what his future plans were. I think, and I've heard many people speculate on this, so this is not an original thought with me. I think he was in some sort of MLM pyramid
Mm.
insurance thing.
Or I could see him being in, like, an MLM protein shake business.
No, it was definitely insurance because he said insurance, but yeah, I
Is
could
he
also
selling
see him.
Plexus?
He's in Janelle's downline. He's in Janelle's downline. Get it, girl. Get all the money you can.
You get it, girl. We always support Janelle being in any MLM that she has
That's
to be
right,
in.
'cause she's the only one who makes money in that family.
Mhm.
Well, she actually everyone in that family makes money except for Cody and Robin, but
True, true.
it's great.
Um, so that's how they ended. Then Lydia and Milton get up there, and they both say yes.
They both say yes. Milton is so awkward at, like, every turn ever. I
Yeah.
like him. I think he's a sweet dude. I think he's incredibly mature for 24.
Yes, yes.
I don't necessarily think he's incredibly mature as an adult, but for 24, he's got his shit together for sure. Way better than I did at
He's way
24.
more
That's
mature than most of the men on that stage at the reunion.
for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. I thought Lydia looked lovely. I am surprised he said yes.
me
I
too.
really didn't think he would. I thought he would have enough pause of her crazy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Um, so afterwards, the parents are around. Okay, so let's talk about Izzy and his mother.
Oh,
That
bless.
mother, I was sobbing listening to her talk about that. She
Okay.
she talked to she talked and you weren't, right?
No, of
No,
course not, because
of
I have a
course not.
heart of steel.
Timmy does too, Heart of Steel.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so the mother was saying like, "When I used to bring you for immunizations and it would hurt at first, but I knew it was
Mhm.
for the long run." That was the perfect metaphor.
Yeah, it was. It was, and she's so supportive, but she doesn't she's so supportive without enabling him to be useless, I think.
I agree.
I think she sees who her kid is, at least I feel like she does, and she adores him very clearly. He is the
Yeah.
light of her life. Great,
But
no problem with that.
let's never forget she calls him Miho, which I love so much.
Right,
Mhm, mhm.
she is so sweet, and if this guy has any chance of getting his act together, it's gonna be because of his mom.
I agree, I agree. Now we do know that he came from a family of Jehovah's Witnesses, correct?
Yes. Yes, he did grow I
And
forgot about that
and
fact. He's
yeah,
Mexican and grew up Jehovah's Witness.
and it wasn't an easy upbringing from what I
No.
understand, and it seemed like
No.
he had a little bit more beef with the dad than mom?
Yeah, and I actually read that his father died recently or
Okay,
something,
okay.
but so I don't know what kind of relationship he had with his dad. His dad wasn't at this wedding or anything,
Mhm.
so I'd forgotten about the Jehovah's Witness part because he talked about how he really wanted to embrace some family and their traditions, and
Yeah.
he wanted to, like, have all the Christmas trees and do all the things that he was never allowed to
Yes.
do, which I get. If I left Jehovah's Witness, I'd probably be like, "And we're gonna be that house with 17 Christmas trees.
Yes.
And we're gonna keep them up all year. That's what we're gonna be.
Yes.
We'll
Yep,
be those
yep.
people." That's fine.
So I wonder if the mom was not a Jehovah's Witness.
I wonder. And
I
the
don't know.
father made them be raised that way? I don't know. I would love to know what really happened in Izzy's
Yeah,
childhood and life because I think he has some things to work through.
yeah. I agree. Shall we scoot over to the reunion?
Let's just scoot over to the reunion.
Because the
Milton and
weddings, there was
Milton and
nothing.
Lydia say yes. They
Yeah,
have this wedding. It looks lovely. He
it's
still
fine.
makes fun of her English,
Mhm. Which is weird.
which is weird. Let it go, dude.
Mhm,
Her English is really good. Let it
mhm.
go. And I do want to say that I worry about her neck if they
I
should stay
know,
together for the long term
I know.
because but actually they really should just get a chiropractor on retainer. Just just
Yes.
have one on speed dial at all
I
times
agree.
because their neck and back is gonna be a mess. Just because if folks haven't watched this, Milton is 6'7". I mean, he says that, he's 6'7".
Mhm.
Lydia, I tried to Google to figure out how tall she was. I couldn't really find
She
anything.
looks
The
to
only
me about 5'4", 5'5", like
4, 5,
average,
5
yeah.
average, yeah, nothing specific. And she does
Mm-mm.
wear crazy ass heels, so that helps, but there is easily a foot between them, between their faces.
There's a foot between Timmy and me. So I think there's more
Oh,
than them, because Timmy and
okay,
I don't have to do the look up, the you know what I mean?
okay, okay,
Because 'Cause I'm 5'1" and he's 6 foot, so there's
okay,
11 inches
yeah.
between us, but
Yeah, it's significant, and they're gonna both
yeah.
need a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to this ridiculous reunion tell all, whatever we're
And
talking about.
Amanda made notes. Isn't she amazing?
Pretty good.
She
Pretty
created
pretty good.
created the notes.
As my dad would say, you're pretty smart for a girl, or doing great for a girl.
Okay. You have
He
a
didn't
pretty
mean that
face.
it
You have a pretty face.
I'm pretty that actually is not the compliment, that or not the dig that one might think it is. The
I
pretty
know.
face is absolutely the dig one might think it is,
Yes,
but
yes.
yeah, not too bad for a girl is a phrase in our house, but my father's pretty feminist. Anyway, so yeah, this reunion was what the I texted Amy in the middle of it. First of all, I was like, "Are Johnny and Chris like trolling us? What is happening here?"
Johnny and Chris, I did love how Vanessa Lachey called them out for being rude.
Yes, and just chit-chatting while Stacy was talking.
That was rude,
It was
and Vanessa
incredibly
Lachey was
rude.
not letting that go.
No, she's
She
like,
was
she felt like an elementary school teacher to me, like, "Is there something you would like to share with the class?"
right, and then she's like, "Well, Stacy was talking, and you
Right,
were talking. So what
right.
was it?" I was like, "You go, girl."
Nothing, we're just catching up.
Mhm.
I as much as I did not like Johnny, this did not help. This did not make me like her.
Okay, so it's funny because when I went into it, I was like, "Oh, now we get to see if all my hot takes have, panned out."
Right.
Because I was a Johnny apologist. I would say Johnny still doesn't irk me like she irks you.
Oh,
Stacy does
ooh,
though. Stacy
I
still
know.
irks me. She is the mean girl.
Stacy doesn't irk me quite the way she irks you.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
sure that each of them reminds us of somebody who bullied us, and that's what's, like, getting in our
Mhm.
craw somewhere
Mhm.
in our
I'm
s
sure.
little bit yeah. So this was just the hot mess express, this whole
Yeah.
thing.
So we start with Stacy and Izzy, Lydia, Milton, just kind of where are you at now? Um, Lydia and Milton seem like they're in a super good place.
They seem so happy, so into each other.
Yes.
The way he talks about her
Yeah.
is actually freaking amazing. We should
Yeah.
all hope to be talked about by our spouses the way that he talks about her. I know her integrity, her character's better than mine. I
Mhm.
know who she
Mhm.
is. I love her. She's great. Our marriage is great. We're having the best time. I've stopped working late. Like all this stuff and I'm like, "Damn. What are you seeing
She she
in
now
this woman that we didn't see?"
she now gets along with this family.
Apparently, there's been a full 360, as they say on Lalu, and she now gets along with his family,
Mhm, and that
and
full 360 will do
it's
it.
amazing what happens when you go a full 360. She's best friends with his mom.
I
She and his
know.
mom bitch about Milton together. Like,
You know what it is? I always felt I saw them once. I felt when we saw them that Milton's parents did not like him.
mm,
And now they have found an ally in picking on him and bitching about him. That's
could be.
that's my take.
There's some weirdness going on in that family,
Mhm,
but
mhm.
yeah, she gets along with his family. He still struggles with chores, but he's figured out the towel. Okay, great.
And Lydia's like, "Here," and I can relate to this so hard because 'cause I'm the same way, like, "Here I am saying I'd never clean up after a man, I'd never cook for a man, blah, blah, blah," and Timmy and I have a very traditional marriage, and I do the laundry and I do the cooking, and it's like, here I am doing it,
Doing
and he
doing
does,
exactly
like,
what you
all
said you
the,
wouldn't.
like, changing
Boy
oil in the
stuff.
cars and cutting grass and, all that stuff,
He
so
he does
I
what we call in our house boy stuff versus girl stuff,
yeah,
and not that we actually mean any of these things are
I know,
gendered, but it's just
I
our
know.
joke. But yeah, the traditional roles, we do the
But
same
I
thing.
see you, Lydia, I see you, you're
Yeah,
like, "I'll never do it," and then here you are, yeah.
here you are in love and you're doing it and you're making a life, and
Yeah.
they seem to be really happy.
They seem to be
And
really
I said a
happy.
couple minutes ago, I don't think they'll last. Maybe they will.
I could see them lasting. Here's the thing, Lydia is see, this is why I didn't hate Lydia, if you remember. I was like a Lydia apologist as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a kernel of something in Lydia that I see in myself, and that
Mm.
is like it comes out as desperation. It comes out as like she would have married anyone, right?
Right, I still
But I
believe she
don't
would have
think
married
it's
Freddy
that.
Krueger.
I think she has been through such shitty relationships that
Mhm.
the bar isn't that high. And when
Yeah.
you meet somebody that exceeds the bar and is
Right,
really good, you're
right.
like, I'm gonna be loyal and dedicated to that person.
Like when I tell my husband, "You're the best husband I've ever had," and then he says, "Well, the bar isn't really that high." Apologies to my first 2 husbands, you're
Yes.
both lovely people,
Yes.
but it's just a
Yes.
joke in my house,
No, no,
but
no. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like when
yeah.
I met Timmy, I was like, "Oh,
You have a job.
you have a job? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're actually going to drive me to a restaurant and pay for a meal? What is that? What is
What?
that?" Right.
What?
And so like he just gained I don't know. Like I think Lydia's had some real shitty relationships.
I
I mean,
think
we
so
saw
too.
Uche. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, she and Uche were involved for a couple of years back
Mhm.
and forth.
And we know what a manipulating gaslighter he is.
He's such a piece of shit. Yeah, I could see her having had terrible relationships such that Milton, because Milton's a good guy. Like,
Right, and she's
I don't
gonna
complain
like
about Milton as he's young.
I'm the same way, like, once I found a good guy, I'm like, "I'm gonna fucking hang on to this.
Yeah, I'm not messing this
I'm
up.
not messing this up." No, and
Yeah.
if there's some imperfections, if he doesn't pick up a towel, which Timmy would never leave a towel on the floor, but if he doesn't pick up towels or I have to that's fine. That's
That's
a
fine.
small trade-off, you know what I mean? That's where I
Yeah,
think
I
she's
feel the
coming
same.
from.
Anything that Todd does that annoys me is a very small trade-off for the
Yes.
greatness that I
Yes.
get to be with
And
him, so
I
it's
think
fine.
that's where Lydia is.
Maybe.
Whereas you look at somebody like Stacy, and I feel like Stacy's probably have men treat her well.
Mhm.
So, like, she has different standards. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just
No.
saying it's different. You know what I mean?
And I think Stacey has different standards of what she expects from a partner. I think she's also had pretty crappy partners, though.
Maybe, maybe.
They've just been the different flavor of it.
A different flavor of crappy. They're not like they can't keep a job. They're
No,
like,
no, I think they can keep jobs, and I think they are
yeah,
exceedingly wealthy, and I think they're 10 years older than she is.
yeah. Speaking of Stacy, can we go to rumor corner real quick?
Sure, I enjoy Rumor
Mm-hmm.
Corner.
So rumor has it, guys, that she is dating Ryan
Oh, yes, you wanted to
from
talk about this.
Maths, the Houston year, which was he was matched with Brett, if you remember, and he was a total D-bag.
Okay,
And the problem with Ryan and Brett was my girl. I loved her. The problem was that he was a big conservative Republican who voted for Donald Trump, and she
okay.
was a big liberal, progressive, gay rights,
Ooh.
kind of person.
How did they
And
match those people?
this is part of my problem with Married at First Sight.
Okay,
Right or wrong, you don't match those people.
it's not
Um,
gonna work.
it's not gonna work no matter which side you're on,
No,
that's not
both
gonna
of you
work.
are going to be
Yeah.
dissatisfied with the
Yes.
other.
Yes. So, the fact that Stacy might be dating him and he had money and
Okay.
he was in oil and gas.
I mean, they're all in oil and gas, so
Mhm. The
whatever.
fact that Stacy might be dating him tracks for me.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. I will just say that. One more thing about Stacy while we're on the topic,
Yes.
and this is not rumor
First
corner.
of
We're
all
out of rumor corner now.
first of all, yes.
When her dad, who I call Al Franken,
My
showed
God, he
up
looks so much
at the
like Al Franken.
wedding, did you see this? She's in her wedding dress and he comes bursting into the room, kind of like a Chris Farley out of Saturday Night Live situation.
Yes.
He comes bursting into the room and his hair is all aflutter. And I'm like, is that Nick Nolte?
Um,
Dude
I
looked
can
like
see
Nick
that
Nolte on a bad night.
he looked like Nick Nolte on a bender, like, he looked like an unmade bed, in the words of my mother. I, can I tell you a funny thing about Nick Nolte?
Oh, no. Do you know Nick Nolte? Did I
No,
insult
I
you?
don't
Are
know
you
Nick
related
Nolte.
to him? Okay.
No, no, the most famous person I've ever met is Kevin Bacon, and he gave me a piggyback ride, but that's a
Okay.
whole other
I
story.
love him, but anyway.
I love him too.
Mhm.
No, Nick Nolte, the first erotic dream I ever remember having in college was Nick Nolte Hold on, it gets worse. It was Nick Nolte, but it was the elevator scene in, now I can't think of Bunny Boiling, Fatal Attraction.
Oh.
So when
Oh.
he and Glenn Close and Michael
It's
Douglas have
not
the hot
Michael
sex in the elevator?
Douglas? Oh.
No, it was Nick Nolte, but in this scene. And I woke up with a
Wow.
very much like, "What the hell just happened? I don't want
Are
any
you
of that to
still
happen."
working on that in therapy?
Comes up occasionally. Comes up occasionally. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, wow. I don't
Yeah.
know what to you've left
You
me
don't even know where to
speechless,
go with
which
that, do you?
doesn't happen often.
Okay, Stacy and Izzy, they're not
Oh.
together,
No, they are not together.
but I thought they could have been based on how they were with each other. He kept grabbing her leg
He kept grabbing her leg,
over
and
and
I
over.
didn't like that
Yeah, I don't know if
because I
she
was
liked
like,
it or not.
"Dude, she's not yours."
Yeah,
And not that
I
when
did.
you're with somebody, they're yours, but you know what I
Right.
mean.
You don't currently have that level of intimacy in your
No, no,
relationship.
no.
Also, she was basically naked. Can we talk about this dress?
Yes.
She was truly basically naked.
Yeah, yep.
So if folks didn't watch it, she had this like red, it looked velvet, but I couldn't tell if it was or
I
not.
thought it was velvet.
Yeah, it had that look about it.
Mhm.
And it like crisscrossed over her breasts and crisscrossed back. So like her belly was showing,
It
her perfect
literally only covering her nipples.
well, a couple of her tits. And like you
Yeah.
could even see under boob. And she doesn't have
Yes.
huge boobs, but
Yes.
we could see under boob. And then her belly was her perfect Pilates belly was uncovered. And then there was like a little thing that cinched fabric across her waist
Yeah.
at her hip,
Yeah.
and from there it was just an open leg.
Yes.
She was basically naked. I
Yeah.
mean, she looked phenomenal, but she was basically
I
naked.
mean, I can't say if I looked like her that I wouldn't dress
And
like
wore a dress like if I
that.
could get away with wearing a dress like that at least once, I would do it. Why
I
not?
would too. I would too. So the story with these crazy kids is they met up after a week and then they met again, but they didn't get back together. Oh, so they met again and she told him she was not feeling it,
So
correct?
they saw each other a week later. They decided it was too raw. They
It
decided
took
to give
some
each other
time.
a year.
Mhm.
They meet up after a year.
No,
They
that's not
try
what
to
happened.
make out.
That's not what happened.
Yes.
The way that I figured this out is the way I heard it, and maybe I'm wrong, is they met
Okay.
up, they agreed that they right after the wedding, they agreed they needed space. So they both took space and
Right.
they met up after about 2 to 3 weeks and they started to kind of date again, but Stacy told him she wasn't feeling it. She felt like they needed to start over again. And
See,
he
I thought
wants
that happened a year later
no, he
that
wants
they
to pick
had
right
that.
up. He walked out and didn't talk to her for a year. And then they ran
Uh
into each other a year later at the bar with her family.
with her family. See, I
Yes.
thought that they tried to get together a year later. Anyway,
Mm-mm.
they tried to get back together. She
No,
wasn't
he
feeling it
stormed like, he, like, left and didn't talk to her for a
for a
year.
year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which I get that, dude, he was pissed.
Yeah.
I will say, has my stance against Izzy softened slightly? Maybe. I think he really apologized to Johnny, and I think that was here's the thing. Was I right about Izzy? Probably not. But he did admit that his behavior at that barbecue was abysmal.
Yes.
So
He
I
owned
was
it.
like, okay, so I was right that that behavior was abysmal.
You were correct, and he owned it, and the only thing he didn't say, which is what we all know, is, "I was also lit up like a Christmas tree."
Yes,
So
yeah.
that didn't help.
So I
Yeah.
definitely feel like I was perhaps judging him way too harshly because in the reunion, he was much better. I will say that.
Yes.
Okay.
He owned what he did. He was much, much
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
I, um I mean, I was never the Izzy hater that you are.
He
I
looks
mean,
good at the reunion.
oh god, he is just fucking hot. He's not my type.
I think it's
Oh
the
god, he's
baldness
hot.
that's bothering me.
Oh, I think it's the baldness that is like,
Mm,
"Yes,
I don't know.
yes."
And he's not you know me, I need a little bit of grit, a little bit of
Yeah,
dirt
he's too
there.
gritty.
He's not dirty enough for me.
No, he's not dirty at all. I
Mm-mm.
mean, he might be dirty, but he's not dirty.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no
Anyway.
grit in him. So, they wound up not together. They did wind up running into each other at a cooking class, which made me
Brilliant.
laugh really hard.
Brilliant.
I'm pretty sure this was a Sur La Table cooking class based on how they
Mhm.
described it, because I've
Mhm.
done a number of those. They are a ton of fun if people are looking for something to do. I've even done them on my own. They're great.
Cool.
And now they seem to be besties.
Yeah.
and buddies.
Yeah. That's not gonna
Which
last. That's not
I
gonna
don't think
last.
so. She's gonna get tired of his shit,
Yeah.
and she's gonna get tired of she's gonna settle down with someone, and she's gonna get tired of him just rolling through women,
Yes.
because that's
Yes.
what he's gonna do for a long
Yeah,
time.
because he has this woman he's seeing, but
But it's
it's
not
not
official.
official.
Stacy's seeing somebody, but she was real coy about it. Maybe it's this jackass from Maths, who knows?
Yeah. I think Izzy is just gonna, yeah, burn through women left and right,
Yeah.
especially after his appearance on the show.
Oh, yeah. His DMs
Yeah.
are overflowing. He's gonna have his choice of women for a while.
Amanda,
I
are
just
you in
hope
his
none of them are
DMs?
looking for him to, pay their bills. I'm sorry, what?
Are you in his DMs?
I am not in his DMs. Maybe I'll get in his DMs.
Get in
Maybe I
there,
should try
girl.
to get an interview with him.
He'll probably never talk to me. That's like for maths when Leslie and I were covering it, I shit talked Ryan so hard. He's never gonna talk to me. Half of those guys are never gonna talk to me.
Sure. No,
Mm-mm.
Izzy would not talk to us.
No.
First of all, we're not big enough, and second of all, we were too mean to him.
Yes.
Now
Well,
let's talk about Johnny and Chris.
yeah, wow, Chris turned out to be a douchebag. See how I can't read people? This is my problem, Amanda. This is why I go right into that cult.
Right.
Because
Well, see, the thing is, Chris snowed me too.
he snowed me.
Chris
That
snowed me too.
motherfucker.
And I thought he was super sweet. I thought he and Johnny seemed happy. If folks haven't watched it, after that part, after the horrible barbecue, then it was her birthday weekend. And then the following weekend, he had to go out of town for a wedding. Now, I did wonder why he wasn't bringing Johnny to said wedding, but okay, that already,
Mhm,
like, that
mhm.
immediately made me go, tell me more about
I think
this.
he was out of town for her birthday and for the next, because I remember thinking, "Wow, he missed her birthday?"
Maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. But he basically fucks off for 2 weeks and
Mhm.
she finds out he's got another girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't tell her.
No,
He doesn't tell her.
she finds
She
out.
finds out.
What an asshole. And
Poor
he was just like,
Johnny.
yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Because sometimes you handle things badly. And it's fine. He was so nonchalant about it.
I will tell you that he was compare that with, okay, let's go back to the Seattle season.
Okay.
Was it Cutie Gate? Okay.
Yeah,
Who
that
was
was not the Seattle
who was it
season. That was the
before? That was the
Dallas
season before.
season
Okay.
because that was Cole and Zenib.
Remember how Cole acted at the reunion?
Hmm.
Sobbing. "I feel so
Yes.
bad. I don't know how to make this better. Da 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 da." That to me was probably one of the more genuine people I've seen
Hmm.
on one of these reunions. Compare that to Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Chris
Chris
is
was
sitting there stone cold, just like with this weird grin on his face, like, "Yeah, I cheated. Yeah, I'm a scumbag. I'm sorry."
he are giggling and smiling at each other. It's like,
It
what
was
is ha
weird.
there's something weird going on
It
there.
was
I'm
weird.
telling you, Johnny I know you were not the Johnny hater that I was.
Mm-mm.
I I could not stand her. My 3rd point under my bullets of them is, what is happening here? What
Johnny
is happening?
Johnny to me just screams broken person, broken person, broken
Oh
person.
god.
And I think that's why I have so much empathy for her. She just seems to be flailing around in trauma to me. But
It's fair. She is flailing around in trauma, that's for damn sure.
but Chris is that was stone cold, man. I mean, he
Yeah.
was just like, "Yeah, I did everything I said." It wasn't great, wasn't ideal.
Yeah.
And then you see
But,
Cole with the cutie gate
YOLO
and he's sobbing.
over
Like,
oranges.
yeah, like that was to me how you act at a reunion when you're called out on something.
True. As a quick aside, how
Yeah.
did you feel about Cutie Gate? I
Oh,
feel like you and I are gonna have a similar take on this.
I feel like okay, so I had to put the disclaimer here that no man should ever tell any woman what to eat or
Nope.
make any comments, and no person should ever tell any
Anybody
person
what
what to
right.
eat. Okay, that
Anybody
aside,
period.
that aside, I think that Cutie Gate was not that big of a deal. I don't think he had the intentions that she said he did. I think that she had a lot of, and I talked about this at the time, like, I think she had a lot of, um, food trauma, weight
Mhm.
trauma in her life
Yep.
because I would have seen it the same exact way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any nefarious intention. I think
Yes.
he literally meant, like, and I've said this to my husband too before dinner, like, "Dinner will be ready in 2 hours." I mean, you decide what you're gonna do with your body, but
Mhm.
just have some
Yes.
information, dinner will be
Yes.
ready in 2 hours.
Yeah.
That is all legit. I also would have heard it the exact same way.
Yeah.
I see how she got there
Mhm.
like that.
But I don't
So,
think he meant it that way.
I don't think he meant it that
I think
way.
it
I
was an
understand why she heard it
unfortunate,
that
yeah,
way.
it was an unfortunate
And
thing.
it was interesting at the time to hear people be like, "She's crazy. I don't understand what." I'm like,
Yeah.
"You've
Yeah.
clearly never had food and body trauma then. You're lucky."
So, Chris is, again,
Chris is a douchebag.
he's in love with this person now that he is with.
Right, living with them, all happy, Johnny
Yep.
seeing somebody.
Yep.
They are way too silly and friendly for somebody who cheated.
Well, she was cold to him at first, I think.
I think she was just her.
But then she was like, "This is the only ally I have out here."
Because he's the only one who has the potential of being nice to me out here, so maybe I'm just gonna stick with him. I don't know, but it was weird. And from there we go to the Stacy Johnny drama.
Yep. Yep.
So, why don't we chat about it, and then I have my journalism here.
Okay.
I will pull up the journalism while we
So,
chat about.
hey everyone, stay tuned. Little Miss Recap will be right back after these words. Stacy and Johnny have two very different takes on what happened at the barbecue.
They sure do.
Stacy is trying to say that she was keeping to herself and kept being dragged into this. Not true.
That's not what was happening, honey.
Um Now Stacy, when she is sober, I do believe that that's the way she would have acted,
I agree.
but she was not sober
No,
and she was
she
not
was
being
white
dragged
girl
into
wasted.
anything. Yeah.
No, she
And
was in everybody's problems.
Johnny claimed that she was just defending herself, that she looked over and she saw Izzy on one side of Chris and Stacy on the other side, and she knew they were talking shit about her.
Mhm.
They actually roll the tape and it goes down exactly as Johnny said it did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, what's your hashtag journalism?
Okay, okay. So, Stacy yesterday posts on ye old Instagram,
Of course she did.
couple of screenshots. I will read them to you.
Okay.
I have anxiously been awaiting in silence to address the context of where my frustration and anger comes from regarding Johnny. During the outside of filming, she bashed me as a person as well as my physical appearance. While in the pods, she told my fellow castmates Izzy would never be happy with her. If that's what he wants, he's going to have bigger problems outside of here. Stacy is the safe choice. If Izzy chooses Stacy, he's going to be disappointed at reveal because she's not hot. Okay.
Uh,
First of all, that's just patently untrue. She's hot. Anyway,
yeah, but
some
how
of
would Oh, okay, Johnny would know that. Okay. I'm
Johnny
like,
would,
how would
okay.
Johnny know that? Johnny would know that, duh. Okay.
Right. Some of these things were said while I was in the room, and some were said to my friends behind my back, who in turn told me. I never once called her out or attacked her for doing these things because I was focused on my relationship engagement with Izzy. At the barbecue, Milton, Johnny, and I were sitting together, and Milton said, "Man, Johnny, I don't remember Stacy from the pods, but we met in Mexico and she's super cool." Johnny scoffed and replied, "Not memorable. Shocking," with a sarcastic tone making me feel like I shouldn't be a memorable person. I had yet to reply to her in a negative manner, but she crossed my boundaries with the final remark, which is why you see me respond the way I do after she approached me with the deceitful comment. The comment I made about Johnny's face was because I was shocked that someone who was supposedly Lydia's closest friend was acting like she believed Uche's awful accusations about her and finding humor in it. I felt like a betrayal of friendship. I knew they were built in I knew we're built in the pods, and while my reaction may seem inappropriate, I know I owe it to explain why I felt disturbed by that. It feels very ironic that I am being portrayed as a bully when, in fact, the actions of Johnny very much come across to me as antagonizing, for which I stood up for myself and others against. I strongly encourage anyone feeling attacked or belittled to stand up for themselves. And then the next thing was like, these people all support me, and it's Izzy, Renee. It's like a list of people.
Yeah. I mean, I have no doubt that Johnny was shit talking her. I see
I
that.
think they're both assholes.
Yeah, I think, but like, Stacy's probably somebody who's talked so much shit about people, and this is like
Mhm.
one of the first times somebody's done it to her.
Someone's brought it back to her.
Um,
I
Stacy
one of
did handle herself with class in the pods, and I did say that.
Mhm. I
originally.
was just gonna say the same thing. One of the, digs that people or that Johnny had about Stacy is that she didn't know she was as involved with Izzy as she was.
That's not
I
up
think
to Stacy
that's
to tell you.
and that's smart
Yeah,
gameplay.
she doesn't
I
have
wouldn't
to
talk
tell
about
you.
it either.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
No, I think I don't know. I don't feel like that second part was accurate. We saw her say, "What is wrong with your face?" And that
Mhm.
was before Johnny started talking to Uche about and you know what I mean? It was
No, Lydia was talking about the Uche thing.
Uche came over to them, sat down and said, "I think Lydia orchestrated us being in the pods together." And Johnny dropped her face like, "What?" And everybody was like, "What?"
Oh, yeah, that was
And that's when
Uche said that.
Stacy goes, "What's
"What's
wrong
wrong
with
with
your
your face?"
face?" So she's lying there. That's not when it was said. Now, she is correct that Johnny did talk to Uche and say, like, well, you or she did say to Lydia, you two are saying two different things. Who do
Right.
we believe? Like, I was surprised by that as well.
Yeah.
But that's not when the
That's not
what's
when
wrong
the
with your
face
face
comment.
comment. So I
They
just
both
think it,
suck.
it
Can we
was
just say they both
drunk.
suck?
They got messy. It
Yes.
happens.
Yeah.
Who amongst us
Who
has not
amongst us
gotten
has
into a petty fight on national television after being drunk?
valid. Okay. So, if you just hadn't added the on national television,
I
then
know.
yes,
I
who
know.
amongst
Yeah,
us?
yeah, yeah. Who amongst us?
So, Izzy and Johnny, they met up again.
Of
They've
course they did. If
and
I
they
was
made out in
Stacy,
Izzy's Jeep.
this would be the thing that would piss me off the most.
They met up and they made out in Izzy's Jeep
Because
because of
of
course.
course they did. Because of course Stacy rejects him and he goes crawling back to Johnny. Of course. I've no
Not
doubt
too
that he
dis
called Johnny up or orchestrated that meeting.
not too dissimilar from what Johnny did after Izzy dumped her.
Yeah.
She goes back with her tail between her legs to Chris.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, Johnny and Lydia would have said yes to Freddy Krueger. They
Yeah.
just wanted a person.
Yeah.
Now we get to the Lydia, Aaliyah, Uche situation.
Well,
Aaliyah
wait,
comes
we
out.
forgot that they
Oh,
made out in Izzy's Jeep.
I said that.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have who
Yeah.
cares written next to it. Okay.
Yes, I said they met it. Yes,
Okay.
and who cares?
Do you think Izzy's a
Lydia.
good makeout? Probably.
Oh, I think he's a good kisser.
Yeah, he's probably a good makeouter. Mhm. Mhm.
I think he knows what he's doing.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I
He's
think he
probably
has the
somebody who
skills.
holds your head.
Face holding.
Face
That's
holding.
what my college roommate and I called grown-up kissing. When somebody holds your face. That's
Yeah.
how grown-ups kiss. At least
Yes.
20-year-old us thought
Find
that's how
somebody
grown-ups
who
kiss.
will grown up kiss you guys. Mhm.
Occasionally, it's
Mhm.
great. It's
Yep.
great. That and find somebody who will randomly kiss your forehead.
Yes. Yes.
That's a
Yep.
lovely thing
Yep.
too. Or kiss your hand. That's always lovely too, when someone's holding your hand and pulls it up and gives it a kiss. Okay, anyway, Lydia, Aaliyah, and Uche, none of that sweetness was happening in this situation.
No. No, no, no.
Aaliyah looked amazing.
Aaliyah looked great, and she was not here to play, and she was not there for anybody's shit,
No,
including
and
including the Lachey's.
not including the Lachey's. She hates Lydia.
Hates Lydia.
For 2 people who were besties, she
Oh my
hates her.
god, how did you feel when they were showing all that footage?
You know
That
how
was
I said
cringy.
Lydia was bunny boiling adjacent?
Mhm, mhm.
Knowing what we knew, knowing now what we didn't know then,
Yeah,
as we're watching this all happen in the pods,
yeah,
Lydia was calculating.
yeah.
She was maniacal. Like, it was fucked up what she
It
did
was
to
fucked
her.
up. It was fucked up.
And that's why I
Mhm,
said, Lord, watching this in retrospect is so difficult.
mhm.
Lydia's
Um,
diabolical.
Milton actually said so Milton goes on a little tirade here, and he kinda has the last word, and he says and I know I'm jumping ahead, I apologize,
It's
but
okay.
he says, "You don't know what was happening on the men's side." He said,
Yeah.
"Uche was very obsessed with my relationship with Lydia. Like, he wanted to know all the details, he wouldn't let
Yeah.
it go, even when I told him I didn't wanna talk about it." Like, he was real weird, and it set, like, Milton off, like, it was off-putting to Milton.
I'm sure it would be.
Mhm, mhm.
Because I don't think Milton is somebody who gets in people's drama anyway.
No, 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 no,
Like, I just don't
no.
think that's I don't think he can be bothered with people's drama. He's gotta go think about his minerals or something. I don't know. He loves to be with his minerals. Let us never forget. This was just drama.
It was,
Uh,
and they did talk about what the producers
Told
like,
them to
so
do.
so they yeah, so they talked about, like, Nick Lachey was asking because clearly fed by the producers, and they're like, "Okay, no, ask how we did, if
Yes,
they're if
ask so we know all the
ask
things that
Lydia and
happened.
Milton if they're mad at us." So, Nick Lachey's like, "Okay, guys, so, did production handle this well? Because they"
Yeah.
so can you explain what production said to them? Because I kind of forget exactly what had gone down.
Production said to them they weren't sure if they were gonna make them leave or let them stay, and then they said, you can stay, but you cannot tell anybody about this until we say it's okay."
Right.
And then they eventually said it was okay once they kinda picked their people, and they said, "You can tell the other people at your discretion."
Okay. And I
I think I think what they should do going forward is when they cast this show, I think they need to get everyone sit down and name all the people you've dated in the last 5 years.
Mhm.
And then they need to cull that list, and if there's any matches, they both go.
And they need to do crazy social media investigations.
Oh, yeah, to make sure people aren't lying or whatever.
Mhm.
They need to
Mhm.
dig back into this because I think they should have both gone.
I do too. I do too. Because Aaliyah says, "I was cheated out of this," and she's right.
Mhm. She was. She was absolutely cheated out of the experience. Thank God because Uche
Yeah,
sucked,
we
but
saved your life, girl. The
yeah,
producer
this
saved your
actually worked
life.
out better for you in the
There
long
should have
run,
been a
honey.
voice like, "We saved your life, girl."
This was best for you. One thing when watching the rewind of Lydia and Aaliyah as this is all going down, when I don't know if you clocked it in the rewatch, when Aaliyah said to Lydia, Uche says he can't imagine his life without me. The look on Lydia's face was intense.
Mm,
It was, oh, he said that?
yeah. I have no doubt
Ugh.
that Lydia came here, knew that he was cast,
Yep.
came here, I have no doubt, and
Same.
was still obsessed with him.
Yep.
But I do think that she fell in love with Milton.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
think both of these things are true. I think
Yeah.
she was obsessed with Uche. I don't think she expected the experiment to work as well as it did. I do
Mhm.
think she loves Milton. Again, she would have said yes to Freddy Krueger, but I do think she loves Milton.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, so now they bring out Taylor and JP.
Jesus Christ. He really has the personality of wallpaper paste.
He
With
really
apologies
does.
to wallpaper paste.
He really does. Like, he can't even be chill here in the
No.
reunion.
No. He
Ugh.
is so uncomfortable. Uh, it almost made me wanna go back and watch their scenes in the pod to be like, "Did he did he ever have a personality?"
Well, one of the guys said, who said this? I want to say that it was when they were in Mexico. When JP told them they were breaking up, one of the guys, it might have been Izzy,
Mhm.
said, "You committed too quickly.
Yeah.
Like, you locked it in too soon."
Yeah.
And that probably was a problem.
It probably was a problem, and I think I th at this point, these contestants have watched this show.
Yes.
I think everyone's trying to be the next Lauren and Cameron, and
Mm,
I thought Taylor was like,
we
because
got
remember
it.
Lauren and Cameron paired off real freaking quick.
I mean, we don't know if editing manipulates that, but
Sure, we have no
the
idea.
and Alexa and Brennan did as well.
Mhm.
It seems like whoever gets that first spot usually is like the couple.
Right. Right, and I think Taylor
But yeah,
was
no,
jonesing for that.
yeah,
I did not like her look at the tell-all.
no,
She
and
was over made up.
she doesn't know how to put on makeup. We need,
Her makeup's not great.
and
I don't
listen,
think
I
that
don't know
color
how to
dress
put
is
on
great for her
makeup.
either.
I don't
Oh,
know
I
how to
don't
put on
either.
makeup. Like, I'm not slamming her or insulting her. I'm just saying she needs the person that's doing Stacy's makeup
She needs a
to
lesson.
lend a hand.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
needs a lesson. I did not care for her dress, but she came in with a stank face on.
Mhm. Mhm.
She came in with what my mother would say, "Wipe that puss off your face." She came in with a
Oof, that brought
puss.
me back, Amanda.
Yeah.
Oof.
Wipe that puss off
I've
your
been told
face.
that quite a few times. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
She came in with a stank face. He says the cameras freaked him out, which is
He's
why
an
he couldn't be
idiot.
normal.
I wanted to kick him in the face
Ah,
because
he's so
he is
dumb.
just like, like just sitting there, like. There's something about him, everything he sets me off because everything he says to her sounds like he's trolling her. Like,
Yes.
he's got this weird smirk all the time that basically I think he thinks he's better than her, and that drives me crazy because she's adorable and
Yeah.
fuck you, dude. You'd be
Yeah.
lucky to land a woman like that.
Oh my god. She's adorable.
He
They
says the
both
cameras made him nervous. Okay.
Now, I have to admit, I'm sure the camera and she said, "The cameras made all of us nervous," and everyone was like, "Yep,
Mhm.
I'm sure
And
they
then she
do."
said the cameras weren't there half the time,
No,
and we
and you
still
still
didn't
didn't talk
talk.
to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
He just did not talk to her. I
No,
don't think he has a personality.
I
I
don't
just said
think
he's
so
a
either.
jerk. They both said going back and watching it was really hard to watch, and I'm sure it was. I'm sure it
I'm
was.
sure it was. Yeah.
Um, she says they both say they felt like the other one didn't wanna be there.
Yes. Yeah.
In what we saw, it felt like he didn't wanna be there. It felt like she very much I felt like she had to have been exhausted at the end of every day because she was trying so hard to pull
Well, and
something
he
out of
said
him.
you kept trying to leave on
Right.
the I won't call it the honeymoon, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the
The
Mexico trip,
pod
yeah.
moon.
Hot moon.
He's like, "You kept trying to leave." And she's like, "Well, I was uncomfortable."
Right, because 'cause you're a weirdo who just
Yes.
stared at me.
Yeah. Oh, and the red, white, and blue.
Oh my
Oh.
god, so much
Guys,
red,
I
white, and
love this
blue.
country too, but come on. I don't wear it. It's
His
not
whole
part of my identity.
personality is patriotism. That's his
Well,
personality.
and I was thinking to myself, was he in the armed forces? Like sometimes, if somebody is a veteran, they're
Firefighter.
super proud of
Yeah,
their service, which they should be, but I don't think this was that. Yeah, he's a firefighter, and so I don't know what his obsession is with the flag, but whatever,
I
dude.
don't either, but it's
Mm-mm,
weird.
no.
Um,
So that's it. Then we play a dumb game.
yeah, and then we play a dumb game, and
Yeah.
it's kinda like the Newlywed Show,
Yeah.
or the Newlywed Game, or whatever that was from the '70s.
Who didn't know how to play though? Because they said, who's the woman who was really secretive?
Oh,
I forget her name.
Johnny?
No, 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 that
Oh.
wasn't there. The one that they
Oh,
think is assigned
Miriam.
to Miriam.
Miriam.
So Nick Lachey's like, "What is Miriam's job?" Like, "Ha, ha, ha." And somebody was like, I think it was Taylor. She goes, "How are we supposed to know that?" Like, she thought it was serious, and she was
Right.
not getting this whole thing.
No, this joke. I love the fact that no one knows what the hell I want a whole show about Miriam. She's a scientist, but she doesn't know what kind of scientist she is. She does something with skincare, but we don't know what it is. She lives in the Middle East. She lives in Houston. She went to Johns Hopkins. I want to know all about Miriam.
Yeah, me too, me
I
too.
want Miriam's life story.
And Miriam's also not here for your shit.
Right.
She's like,
Miriam has no
"Whatever,
time for any of my
whatever."
shit.
Mhm.
I kind of wish Miriam had showed up
And I
with this
love that
towel.
Uche didn't have the balls to go there. Has he said anything on social media? I'd be
Not that
surprised
I've
if he
seen, but
hasn't,
let's see. Let's look this up. Uche Instagram.
because you know him.
Let's see. Has he said anything? Dun, da, 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 da. No. No. We've got the Love is Blind like shots. The most recent photo is him with his dog. Oh, his dog is cute,
Oh,
Amy.
no. Alright,
His
let me
dog's really
look.
cute and his name is Kobe.
Go back.
And then there's a photo
Go
of him
back.
in the pool.
Uche Instagram. Is it I'm Above the Law? Is that him? Yeah.
What's his name? Yeah, I'm above the law.
Um, he's
First
just
tag
such an
photo.
asshole. I see
He
his
is such an
face and
asshole,
I
but his
wanna
dog is cute.
I mean, his dog's fine, but
His dog is fine.
oh my god, people are coming for him on the,
Oh, are they?
comments. Woof.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't come to the reunion because you would have left 2 minutes and like you did the barbecue as soon as the women even started slightly disagree with you. You dogged Aaliyah about cheating when you had cheated even more recently than she did. You tried to tell everyone at the barbecue your situation when they all didn't really seem to care to hear from it. You were way more aggressive and pointed speaking to women over men. You probably have somehow gotten an ego boost of sorts from this whole thing. It would have
Mm.
at least showed an openness to critique and self-improvement if you did manage to come. Like even JP came dog, and he was the show for like 20 minutes. I'm happy you didn't. We've heard enough from what you to say.
Nice.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I love this. I love
Oh,
this.
he's
Yo,
I
I
mean,
just
I
know
wanna
Lydia
say he's
followed you
gross,
on the
but
show. I
I
feel
wanna
it.
say he's gross, but he's objectively handsome.
He is an objectively
But the
handsome
minute
guy.
he opens his mouth, you're like, "Oh."
He's horrible. He's got a great smile.
Yeah, he's just a horrible human. I mean,
He's a walking skin suit.
yeah. I may have called him the Long Island serial killer.
You may have, in fact, called
Yeah,
him
which
the
he's
Long Island
not. We
serial
know
killer.
I know he's not, but I was just saying,
No.
what I said was if we had not already caught the Long Island serial killer,
It could have
this
been.
might
There
be in
was an argument
contention.
to be made.
Mhm, mhm.
There was
Yeah.
definitely an argument to be made. Yeah, he's, um he's a walking skin suit, and I don't care for him, but he does have a cute dog.
All right, so we've said it all.
We've done it.
I'll say it
Love is
again, and I'll
Blind
say it
season
again. We're
5.
done.
Ye Say it again, I'll say it again. In the can, this is done, and I really hope whatever happens in season 6 is better than this debacle,
Same, same. Mhm.
because this was a shit show.
This was a shit show, and
You need 4 or 5 weddings. You need 4 or 5 couples, otherwise it's too much of these 2 people or these 2 couples.
we had other weddings, and they chose
Yes,
not to show them to us.
they did. I kind of wish that Carter and Renee had been at the reunion to talk about
Yes.
their experience, but
Yes.
apparently he's real bad, so I don't think she
He's
ever
real
wants to see him
yeah,
again.
yeah. All right, girl. Thank you so much for joining me to talk about this
My
morning.
pleasure. My pleasure.
For those of you who have not already, get in our Facebook group called Backdoor Friends. I mean, we are growing rapidly.
We are. We're at almost 550.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like 2 weeks ago we said we hit 300 because we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It's a lot of fun in there, and it's a very supportive group. And I'm
It's
keeping it that way.
wonderful.
So if you're an asshole, don't join.
No, if you're an asshole, we will kindly escort you out at some point.
If your name rhymes with Kuche,
Jay,
do not join.
if you're a walking skin suit, you are not
Mhm.
welcome.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-mm.
And like I said, listen for Married at First Sight. It's going to be on the free feed this week. And if you want to hear our Sister Wives episodes, join our Little Miss Recap Extra, which you
Yes,
can do
please.
now through Supercast, Patreon, or Apple subscriptions.
Nicely
Mhm.
done. But
Mhm.
don't join free Patreon because you get nothing for that.
You get nothing. You
You
get
get
nothing.
You'll like it.
You get what you get now.
It's what you get and you don't get upset, which is nothing.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. If you're looking for Amanda or myself on Instagram, our links are in the show notes.
That's right.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.